This life of just grinding can feel so empty and so robotic sometimes. You probably relate to this, okay? You wake up, you go to school or you work in your home, you go to the gym, you do a bit more of the work stuff, you maybe do some of the self improvement habits like reading and meditation and some journaling. You consume content and pretend that you're friends with the person who you're watching. Oh yeah, Hamza always makes a video exactly with what I'm thinking about. He's so relatable. Me and Hamza go way back. And then what? You still have a few hours left in your day where you're just killing time. You're resisting the bad habits, the degeneracy, the scrolling, the porn, the video games. And then usually you just fill this time with some bookwas, like some just low tier, okay, more content consumption. You try and work more, but your brain's all fatigued. Maybe you try and read more. This is what I do, but your brain's all fatigued. What else do you do once you've checked off the essentials, which is the deep work or the school or the studying, the gym, some of the essential self improvement habits? What else do you do with this time? I think you've probably seen this. I think it's from SpongeBob. It's like a cartoon or like an animation or something of like this guy who's living this 9 to 5 life, and you see flashes of him where he wakes up, he brushes teeth, he's driving and he's stuck in traffic. Then he's in work and he's pressing a few buttons, and then he's driving back home, he's stuck in traffic. Then he eats dinner like really sadly, and then he goes to bed. Then he wakes up and he does it again faster, faster, faster. You've seen that kind of like, oh, the 9 to 5, whatever, like where it's like a picture or a video of like a guy going through the phases of like the daily routine of someone in a 9 to 5. We got onto this path to avoid that robotic, that like at least mundane purposelessness, the void, the quiet life of desperation. And now, unfortunately, at least for those earlier levels, we have to recreate or transform. We have to take some of that roboticness, the routine, as I spoke about in a previous video on this channel. We have to live just on a routine. So I'm not going to tell you to just, I'm not going to make this a feel good video. As always, most of my videos, like, they have like an odd sense of hope, but it's more of a slap to the face of like reality. I'm not just going to say something that I know for a fact that would probably get me more views and would get people to like me if I told you like, yeah, bro, just go on like an adventure every few days, just smile and just go do something fun. I'm not going to tell you any gay shit like that. I'm going to tell you the truth. You do actually need to stay into this grind, this robotic period. I've done it. Every guy who I know who became successful just had at least a few years, if not even longer, in their lives, just robotically sticking to the routine. But the emotions were different. What I've found is for the guys who actually became successful, their robotic years, like their years of that sort of routine where they're building themselves up, is filled with so much more zest than the guys who I've known. Because look, I've been on this path for 5 years as like a leader of like of this kind of space of self-improvement and this kind of stuff. And I've seen tons of guys who I swear have been doing everything right, but then they're still losers. Like they still live this exact same fucking, okay, work, then gym, then back home, work, then gym, then back home, work, then gym, then back home. They check off the same boxes as the guys that I've seen who have become successful. But there's a different energy. There's such a different energy. I see this in myself and in the few like students that I've seen who have become super successful. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars a month traveling around the world. And that kind of energy is what is going to take away this mundane lifestyle that you have, this work, then gym, to more of like the weird thing is the routine is going to be the same. It's still going to be work and gym, right? You're going to do that even if you're a fucking billionaire, work then gym, right? So that's not going to change. But what if we could just make it 5 times more fun? Like in a recent video, I said how to make the grind fun. And this is kind of like that, but I'm not going to talk about specific things like, oh, yeah, work out with a friend. I'm not going to tell you fucking basic things, right? I want to talk to you about some weird fucking philosophical, spiritual, weird shit today. The guys who I've seen who have created the success, who have the exact same routine as you, they are more angry than you. So much more angry. I want you to think of the anger, the sort of like energy of someone like Andrew Tate, especially let's say when he came out of prison. I don't know if you saw the same video clip that I did, but the day where he came out of prison, he had like this big beard, right? This was like a while ago, like the first time he came out of prison. He had this big beard. He was a bit bulkier, and this video of him where he looks like a fucking G. He's like pacing through his house. He's pacing through it whilst like kind of talking to himself, or maybe he's like rapping the song that's coming on. And that's the kind of energy that I've seen time and time again in myself and in the guys who actually go on to become successful. At the end of the day, the routine is basically the same. Don't be a degenerate. Don't waste time on fucking video games and those kinds of things. Work hard, go to the gym. The routine is the same. The specifics are the same. Yeah, sure, go train with a friend. Oh yeah, sure, like don't eat the bad food, whatever. But it's the energy behind it. I keep constantly seeing it's the energy of anger and aggression. That is the fuel for a lot of masculine success. A lot of guys just don't have it in them. You don't have an energy, you don't have a fight, you don't have, like, you're not allowed to. Your mother has basically coddled you so much, and society, your teachers in school, the media has coddled you so much that you feel so dirty when you experience the dark desires. Like, maybe you just needed someone to give you permission. You know, sometimes you get some like dark, fucked up desires. You know, it's actually healthier and safer if you accept them and you integrate that instead of pushing it away. Most men will not never admit this publicly, like out loud to even a friend. Most men would almost never admit this at all online. I'm not like most men, so let's fucking do it right now. Most guys, I'm not saying this is me, by the way, but most guys have got some fucked up desires that arise every now and then. You can probably think of a few. Now, what's interesting is it's often the guys who are not going to fulfill those desires, the desires of rape, of murder, of stealing, of colonizing, of pillaging a fucking village, like those kinds of dark, masculine, aggressive desires. It's often not the guy who is able to just talk about it and feel it and be almost like smile at the sort of like randomness of the desire, who actually goes and does those things. It's the little skinny fucking internet nerd, the philosopher, like the little fucking dweeb, you know, the good boy who pushes those desires away, who eventually lashes out and murders people, shoots up a school, becomes like a fucking weird rapist, kidnaps a woman or some shit like that. In a philosophy by this guy called Carl Jung, there is this practice of integrating the shadow. You have inside of you this shadow, this dark side. And most men will push that dark side away and act like it's not them. And I don't blame you if you're like this, by the way. You are a pussy, but I don't blame you for it. Because the entire world for all of your life has conditioned you to think, okay, that's so wrong, and you should not have that inside of you, and you should just behave. You should never ever fight someone. You should never look at anyone kind of weirdly. You shouldn't be angry. You should let things go. It's okay. Sit still. Don't argue with the teacher. No, don't fight back. If someone hits you, go to the teacher. Don't fight back to them. You know, all this bullshit modern day soft conditioning that we've been through. Since we've all been through that, I don't blame you, and I don't blame my younger self for having these dark desires and then pushing them away because I thought that they were wrong. But is it wrong if it's natural? Is it wrong if that is a natural, actually healthy part inside of us? Now, it's wrong to go and hurt someone, of course. I'm not saying the act is wrong. But is it wrong to be mindful that we have these desires and urges? Because if you've done a bit of research, or if you've went through a bit of a shitty mental health period, you'll know exactly what I'm about to say. What's it like when you push away a thought? Like, imagine you keep getting negative thoughts, you feel like a loser or something, and you're trying not to think about something. When you try and push away a thought, what happens? It makes it fucking worse. So much worse. So much worse. It makes you obsess over it. Whereas when you can get a thought, whether it's pleasant or not pleasant, whether it's light or dark, if you're able to just kind of enjoy the fact that you had that thought and then laugh at the absurdity of the mind, the thought integrates and it kind of creates like this sort of healthier flow. You know how when you turn a tap on and there's like clear crystal water inside of it? That's what happens when you integrate the shadow, the dark parts, the random thoughts you get where sometimes you think to yourself, oh, I want to fuck that girl. Oh, I want to do this. That fucking prick thought, if he fucking says that to me again, I'm going to fucking kill him. When you get these thoughts, if you say them out loud, by the way, you'll look like a fucking little psychopath or something, right? I get that. Don't make anyone uncomfortable by like expressing this out loud. But when you get these thoughts yourself and you don't allow yourself to feel that and to kind of sit inside of it and enjoy it for a second, I find that that's what changes your life from being like a fucking warrior, caveman, adventurer, fighter, businessman, you know, this guy who's zestful, to just being a fucking 9 to 5 rat. Wake up, work, go to the gym, come back home, eat, watch some TV, go to sleep, wake up, go to work. Just the mundane, the quiet life of desperation. So, do you see my major point here is the guys who live this quiet, depressing life are usually the ones who are not integrating the anger that they could have. And like I said, what's so interesting is this is not about what you do with your day. Even though the title of this video might make you believe I was going to say something like, oh, change the schedule of your day. It's not that, because the guys who are living zestful lives, they still wake up and work and go to the gym. But do you see how it's the emotion behind it? Like, you have enemies. Think of, like, because this is the next point that someone's going to say to me, oh, but Hamza, I can't be angry at anything. You have people who have wronged you. You think about them in your mind right now and you keep letting it go. That is power. Like, that is literally a source of fucking energy that will transform you and give you so much zest to life. And you keep throwing this power away. Now, at some point when we're older, let's say when we're fathers, let's say when we're 30 or we're 40 years old, let's become like the wise older man who doesn't need to use this anger by that point, and he gets to use like love and all the cute stuff instead. But we're fucking not there. We're not there. I have a reason. I have a belief that one of the reasons why I popped off and got millions of subscribers, and basically I created like my own niche on the fucking internet. Like, self-improvement wasn't really a niche before me. There was a few random YouTubers who used that phrase, but I literally was the face of like masculine self-improvement. And I have a feeling like that wasn't just because I was telling you, oh yeah, bro, go to the gym, bro. I think it's because millions of guys finally saw someone who was in your age group who talked as if, like, you could tell that I was integrating this angry part inside of me that has been so throttled inside of you by your mother, by the schooling system, by all these like places. You saw like a young man who was alive, who was harnessing that energy, and it was contagious. And the interesting thing with harnessing the energy was that it wasn't hurtful. Even though you can see me get angry at times, when you really think about the effect of the videos that I posted, it helped people. Do you see how I can have that dark energy inside of me, the anger, the aggression? I can swear and get angry. But do you see how it ended up helping millions of guys? So you can have this dark energy, but it's actually transformed into a morally good cause, just as I have done. You need to have that kind of energy where when you wake up, you pace around your room and you think about the motherfuckers who hurt you, who doubted you, and you get angry and you swear at them in your mind, and then you create something purposeful and genuinely helpful because of it. Because look, what I've said in this video is going to sound weird, and I know for a fact some little skinny neck little fucking vegans with gay looking hair, they're going to be watching this thinking this guy's a fucking psychopath. Oh, he's officially lost it. We've got Psycho Hamza before GTA 6. You fucking cringe bastard, bro. There's going to be some guys watching this thinking like, oh, he's being weird, right? Let me ask you personally, who would you rather have locked in a room with your mother? The guy who has these angry thoughts, and then because of that, he ends up making a business, a YouTube channel where he teaches the lessons on like, here's how to become a stronger man. Or the guy who has these thoughts and he pushes them away and he thinks, oh yeah, don't think about that, don't think about that, don't think about that. That guy, if he's locked in a room with your mother, you know at some point he's going to crack and he's going to rape your mother. I know that sounds crazy, but like it's the good boy that you should watch out for. They're the fucking psychopaths. The good boy is this, and I'm not saying it as a compliment, but the good boy is the psychopath. He's the one who flips out and takes a gun into the school. He's the one who hurts people genuinely. It's the man who has integrated his shadow, who has integrated and understands that he's supposed to have the capability for dark, aggressive desires, but then he transforms that into the light through his actions, through his work, his service and contribution. It sounds so controversial what I'm saying, but what I'm literally saying is like we have these emotions inside of us which are completely natural. And when you try and turn them down, which I'm not blaming you for doing this because other people have conditioned you for so long, this is why your life feels so dead and empty. Because a large part of the sort of energetic flow in a man, like the water inside of a hose pipe, a large part of that energy comes from this kind of emotion. Once you take this kind of emotion out, that hose pipe is all wrinkled and bent over, and it's got such a slow little flow in, just enough, like this drip, just enough to keep you alive and keep living this mundane life, but not to create anything new, not to be zestful as if you're like moving with more purpose and you're moving fast. You're just going through the motions. You want to know why I'm here? I don't think I've ever actually told this story on YouTube before. You want to know why I'm here in Bali training kickboxing twice a day? It's so interesting of how it actually started. I think I've only told about 20 guys this story, like on my community. In 2024, so last year, I've at the start of the year, I moved back home after I split up with my ex-girlfriend. I moved back home and I'm trying to figure out like, okay, I'm just going to focus on business and, I'll move out somewhere because I was like 26 years old and like rich and stuff. I didn't actually have to move back home, but I was like just going to put my head down and I thought, okay, I'll be at home for like a month or so. I still have my membership at that fancy gym in my hometown. So I start going there and I start training with one of the personal trainers there, not as like a client, but just as friends. And so me and him start training. I make awesome progress in the first 6 months of the year. I'm going so consistently. I'm actually more focused on bodybuilding than I am on business. And my life is just super simple. I literally just work, go to the gym, work, easy. Making awesome progress. I bulk up. Everything's going good. And then I'm in the gym with my friend. He sat down on one of the machines, like the chest press machine or something. I'm stood up. And this guy, this family walk past us. And the guy is like angry. He's like swearing or something. And me and my friend kind of look over thinking like, what's happening? This guy is fucking big as well. Like not just like a bodybuilder, but he's like a fucking tall guy. I'm fairly tall. I'm 6'1". So he must be about 6'4". Chavvy looking guy, tattoos and everything. He walks and he turns around and I can see him looking angry at me. And I'm like, what's up, bro? And I can just hear him swearing, fucking, like, what the fuck? And he's like, you better stop fucking staring at me. You better stop fucking staring at me. Like, no one's staring at you. His wife is like pushing him away. So they leave, right? They were close to the stairs. They leave. So I'm looking at my friend. I was like, what the fuck? Wait, he thought I was staring at him. He walked from behind us, right? So there's no way that anyone was staring at him. Whatever. He walks back in. And he confronts me, he gets proper close, and he's like, oh, you better stop fucking staring. You better stop fucking staring. I'm like, no one's staring at you. Yeah, you were. You were staring at me. You were staring. You want to go. You want to go. Like, what the fuck? My friend he's a personal trainer, so he stands up and he says like, no, he wasn't staring at you. It's fine, whatever. And he's like swearing a bit. Then he walks off. And I was like, what the fuck, right? My friend goes, he's got a client to train. I go on one of the exercise bikes. And this fucking guy comes in again. And he walks all across the gym. See him, he comes up to me. Oh, if you stare at me, I'll wait outside with my mates. We'll jump you. I'll bring a knife. I'll do this. I'll do this. Oh, I'll do this. I'll do that. Me and my friends will wait. When you leave the gym, I'll be waiting outside in my car. I leave the gym. I was almost comical. I look around. I'm like, where you at? Like, I had a feeling he wasn't going to be. Oh, obviously, I was like getting ready. You don't want to have a fight. But it was funny when I walked out and I was like, fucking shut the fuck up, right? The day after that, I start training on the bags. Literally, the day after that, I'm getting ready. I'm even sweating in my clothes as I'm getting ready. I'm sweating as I say this right now. I do a bit of my workout, the normal weightlifting, and I'm a little bit bored. We have like these boxing bags. in the gym. So I put the gloves on and I start smacking against them. I'm getting loud. I'm like, yeah, fuck that fucking prick. If he comes in here, I'll fucking knock him out. I'll do this. I'll do that. I'll do this. I start training here. Okay, like 5 rounds was good. 10 rounds, feeling good. I start throwing in some kicks. It's been a long time since I've done like any martial arts at this point. So I start training like that. I start doing that most days of the week. And in fact, a lot of the days when I was supposed to be on this bodybuilding protocol, I'd actually come in and actually just choose to just smash around on the pads and do more of this this kind of like cardio style, fight style training. 6 months later, I live in Bali and I have my first official kickboxing fight in about 6 weeks from now. That was the start of this like season of my life where I've started to take fighting and martial arts more seriously. Now, here's the thing. If I was a good boy, after that day, I would have come home and thought, I've got such a small penis, and I'm sure he was just having a bad day. It's okay. I forgive you. Mwah! It's okay. He didn't mean it. It's okay. I'm not going to get angry because of this guy. I wouldn't be here training as hard as I am right now. Do you see how one little fucking douchebag, like an altercation with a dickhead, can transform your life, and that now I'm training like a pro athlete? And as a kind of a side point, but kind of nice, is I've just got into the 40s with my resting heart rate. That's like worth a fucking W in the comments as well. If your resting heart rate is in the 40s, you're basically officially like an athlete. And mine has always been in the 50s. I've never got it down to like 49, 48. And I've been getting a bunch of 49, 48 days recently, which is like, it's like a fucking nice accomplishment, right? And plus, if you've seen my kickboxing vlogs, my skills been getting better. I have like this whole lifestyle, this community that's there. It gives my day structure. It's been so good for me. Do you see how I've created something so good in my life from something that was causing me anger, because I allowed I allowed the anger to fuel me. Now, there's definitely nuance here, because another guy in this situation would have went home and started bringing like a knife into his car, like when he goes to the gym, to like fight off this guy. Another guy would have used this sort of dark, angry emotion for bad. So when I'm saying to, in some ways, utilize the emotion, it's to utilize it, but as a smart, intelligent man who's not a fucking retard, who doesn't get into street fights. Because that's not the lesson of this story. I hope you clearly know that. It's like, there's a reason why the story didn't turn into like a fight or anything. Because I'm not a fucking idiot. Of course, if someone puts his hands on you, yeah, sure, fucking knock that prick out. But if they don't, and someone just chats some shit, even if they say something to try and trigger you, oh yeah, I'll hit you when you leave, and they say something racist, whatever, it's like, fuck them, bro. Don't get into the street fight, right? But do you see how two different men, me and someone else, could have had a vastly different experience, like a result from this story? I am a smart, intelligent man. So when there was a build-up of anger and aggression inside of me, I used it productively, and now when I track my sleep, my aura ring basically is saying that I'm an athlete because of the sort of the domino effect because of that day. Do you see how I've profited from that? I've just started a new YouTube channel. I'm on 20,000 subscribers. I make more money passively from like my fucking 7th YouTube channel because of that guy than that guy even makes as well. Do you see how I get to have like a laugh here? I get to like literally like feel good about myself. If I wasn't as intelligent, if I was a combative little retard, I would have tried to fight the guy, right? And do you see how then sort of experiencing the dark emotion is not good? So the dark emotion in and of itself can be useful, but it can also be chaotic. It's that you need to use like the sort of human mind, the prefrontal cortex, to make the decision to actually utilize it well. So here's practically what you can do. Think right now about people who have hurt you. Think about that kind of moment, which I just told you about. And think about, you've had some shit like that, right? Whether in your adult life or back in school, you had some guys, even girls maybe, just being fucking horrible. Like literally just being bullies to you, right? You definitely have had some shit like that. Don't allow yourself to say that it's okay and to throttle the emotion that arises. Get pissed off for a second. Get pissed off just by yourself. If you're in your room right now and no one can see, start swearing a little bit and think, bro, if I got to have my way, I'd choke that fucking prick. I'd slap the fuck out of her. Say these things to yourself. Don't take action on them. Take the action that's going to lead to growth and to a better life for you and your family and for the world. But I'm telling you, I know this is going to sound controversial as fuck, but the reason why I'm making this video is not to get views. If anything, this video is going to make me look like a fucking weirdo. But I'm telling you because I strongly believe you need to have this kind of dark energy, especially in your earlier years. Like I said, what I hear from like more successful guys and guys who are more developed is after about 5, 10, 20 years of using the dark energy, that's where sometimes you'll be transforming more to using like the light energy, the love and the joy and, you know, the sort of contribution and whatever. But you've got to use whatever energy is coming, right? It's the exact same thing with going through a breakup. Imagine if your girl cheats on you or something, and then you get breakup gains. You go to the gym and you fucking push harder, and you get the thought of her with someone, and that's when you push harder. Utilize that energy with no change in your schedule. You're still gonna wake up and go to work and then go to the gym or go to school, whatever. But with just that energy inside of you, put into something in which you can push harder. So probably not as much like, you know, a 9 to 5 job or something like that, where you're not really rewarded on effort or results. You're just rewarded on showing up, right? But for example, in a business, for example, in martial arts, where you can actually go train 3, 4 times a day, you literally can do, like every pro fighter in my gym trains 3, 4 times a day. It's not crazy to do that. This energy is going to lead you to that zestful life. It's going to start, and here's the interesting thing. When you push harder because of this energy, then you will have more vision and hope for the future, because when you're pushing harder, you more believe that you're actually going to get like the nice result. Like, for example, your business popping off, or, you know, your YouTube channel blowing up, or you winning the fight that's coming up or wherever. And so if you allow this dark energy to first arise by forcing it to arise, by like thinking about the shitty time that you've had with someone wronged you, whatever, use that dark energy to do more than you currently are, to push harder. And then you will naturally start to think to yourself, like, bro, like I'm actually doing so well. There's actually a pretty good chance that I'm going to win this fight. Like, you know, I could sign up for a martial arts fight and I could win, and I fucking batter the guy that I'm going against. Or this business, like I'm actually seeing some really good results now. So now, even though the schedule is the same, we're still doing work, then gym, then, you know, trying to figure out what to do with our lives. There's just more hope because we're literally looking forward to the future. We're not in this quiet life of desperation. We're in this war mode. Do you see the difference here? Like, a man who's in war mode, that's just so powerful. There was a quote that I heard, which was, under peaceful conditions, the warlike man attacks himself. You have such a peaceful and comfortable life, which you don't even like. And the only thing that's going to stop you from implementing this advice is the fact that you'll stick to the comfort which you don't like. Like, think about it. Your life, we all know, objectively would be improved if you added more hardship, more sort of aggression fueled into the right areas. But you probably won't, because you like the comfort zone that you've saddled yourself in. Like, is that not the problem here? You're in your comfort zone, right? I know it sounds like a fucking Instagram picture or some shit, like, oh, you know, get out of your comfort zone. But that's literally the problem here. You're not actually being completely challenged. You like, for the guys here who are trying to post YouTube videos, you press record with no intention, with no deliberate practice. You just show up. Oh, here's another shitty video to add to my YouTube channel, which I wouldn't watch myself if it wasn't me. Oh, why am I getting 0 views? You go to the gym with no intention. You refuse to push hard past the point of failure, and then you look the same from last month. The same with your business, the same with your career. It's like there's no intention to grow. But when you're in war mode, when you're in this innovative mode, that's when you're growing. That's when there's zest in your life. When you know, one of the last TV shows I watched was Breaking Bad, which just goes to show you like when I stopped being like a normie. Because Breaking Bad, I'm pretty sure it's like 5 or 10 years old or something now. I watched it with my brother. It was one of the last like TV shows that I watched. Right, I don't know any new TV show past that point. I could probably guess if you like, um, I don't know, but you get my point, right? I'm not a peasant, right? So it was one of the last TV shows that I watched, and I still remember how fucking epic one of the last episodes was. Where you know how in a TV show when like the intro comes on, it's always got the same song for this show. It was like some guitar ding ding or some shit like that. In one of the last episodes, the main character is about to give up on life. He's basically like ruined his entire family. He became a drug dealer basically, and he ruined like he became a drug dealer to make money to give to his family. But then he ends up ruining his family. A couple of family members get killed. His family realizes he's a drug dealer, and then he has to leave the town and whatever. Everyone hates him. His brother or his brother-in-law dies because of him. It's crazy, right? Everyone fucking hates the guy, but he's got millions of dollars. The last attempt he makes is he calls up his family and tries to give them the money, and they all say no, and they hang up on him, and he's like, oh, it's basically pointless. So he's about to basically give himself up, and the show's gonna end. So he's literally like called the police, and he said, okay, I'm here, just come arrest me. As he's waiting for the police, he's in this bar, and there's a TV that's playing this show where it's his old co-workers, and they're shitting on him. He basically made like this business that became like $1 billion business, and the guys who he worked alongside, like they were all partners, they're sat there like, oh yeah, no, yeah, it's so weird what happened with him. Yeah, he didn't even do anything. He was like a waste of space. You know, they're saying bad shit about him. And it's like you see his face transform from like this like sad, defeated man. So he starts getting angry as fuck, and that theme song comes on, but it's like a more epic version of it. And I remember getting fucking shivers. I was like, oh shit, like what's he about to do? Like, and then he like disappears from that place. He goes back, he threatens those people, he kills motherfuckers, he like gets a big machine gun and kills a bunch of drug dealers and whatever, and like the show ends after that. But the point of that story was he was living this sort of mundane, silent, oh, I'm just giving up. Okay, just, you know, go through the routine, just do this. It's only when he got pissed off and he allowed himself to get pissed off, he allowed himself to feel angry by the betrayal of like his previous partners in his business. That's when he actually took real action, and he kind of like reversed a lot of the wrongs that he did. And he took a lot of action in the last like episode or so in the TV show. He saw something that pissed him off, and he didn't just try and dial it down saying, oh, you know, it's okay, I'm sure they didn't mean that. That's probably better for your happiness when you're older and you're not trying to achieve success, like monetary success. Right now, I bet you'll feel more happy and energetic in life if you were seeing that, for example, your business was doing good, you were making more muscle, your skill was going up. You've got to use this fucking energy. So place yourself in that character's sort of shoes right now. There's someone who said horrible things about you. There's people who have treated you so wrongly, and you've just laid down and fucking taken it. But if you transform that, bring it back up again, and feel the hurt, the pain, and then the anger and the aggression, and then still go and do the same things, go and work, go to the gym, but now with this newfound energy, this darkness inside of you, that's what's going to take away this mundane life that you feel like you're in. In the end, we're all going to do the same things. We're going to wake up, we're going to work, we're going to read and learn, we're going to spend time with people, we're going to go to the gym and exercise, we're going to get some food, whatever. Life is largely the same, honestly. But what energy are you bringing behind it for the next 5 to 10 years whilst you're building yourself up? Let it be this energy. Give that a try. Any questions, you can write them as a comment. And whilst I still have you, just do me a favor quick. Engage on this video because it'll help with the algorithm. Goodbye.